and welcome to MANSUS 20-Minute Talks. I'm Gemma, your host, and in this series I talk with the people leading the conversation in manufacturing sustainability. MANSUS is a modern media platform created to empower manufacturing leaders. We provide knowledge and connections needed to drive sustainability, offering expert insights and practical solutions through podcasts, articles, webinars and live events. We are excited to announce that MANSUS has partnered with the Sustainable Manufacturing Expo. SM Expo is co-located with MD&M West and WestPack and brings industrial manufacturers together with pioneers advancing efficiency, productivity and sustainability. The event takes place February 4th and 5th, 2025 in Anaheim, California, and it focuses on how companies are reducing their environmental impact while meeting sustainability goals. I am delighted to introduce the MANSUS Mini-Series with SM Expo, and over the course of the next few months, you'll hear from a variety of voices as we build up to the show opening. Today, I'm kicking things off with Melissa Magestro, Vice President and Group Portfolio Leader at Informa Markets Engineering. Melissa leads teams organising major manufacturing events like MD&M West and DesignCon, and she also founded the Sustainable Manufacturing Expo. With a deep background in the sector, Melissa's experience includes leadership roles at Mack Brooks Exhibitions and the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. She's originally from the Midwest and now lives here in the UK with her husband and her dog Prudence. In our conversation, we discuss Melissa's inspiration for launching the SM Expo and what you can expect from the show floor and beyond. You can follow along with this mini-series wherever you listen to the 20-Minute Talks podcast. And if you head to mansus.co, you'll find the MANSUS Mini-Series section where we bring all of these episodes together into one place. Let's get started as we hear from Melissa and find out more about her role and how she decided to launch SM Expo.
My event background has really always been in the manufacturing sector. So I joined Informa Markets about 4.5 years ago in the engineering and manufacturing division, again, working on advanced manufacturing shows. And for SM Expo, I think it was really how Informa Markets has been kind of leading the way within the exhibition world on the sustainability side. So, several years ago, Informa really made a very conscious decision that we were going to pioneer sustainable events. And every single event that we run has a specific set of standards that we need to follow. And we can also be innovative around these too, but it's really all about, how do we, as a trade show organizer, really kind of manage our footprint and what we're doing and ensure that our events are as diverse as they possibly can be. And so having that sort of focus on the exhibition side and then being part of the advanced manufacturing community, I started thinking, what are manufacturers doing, not just to make their products more sustainable, but also like looking at their own operations and how those can be more sustainable with like energy management or waste management, some of the things that we've been focusing on. And that kind of led me down the path of starting to research Sustainable Manufacturing Expo.
Yeah, I think we could do an entirely different episode on managing and running sustainable live events. But yeah, it's great to see that Informa really leading the way there. I think it's a necessary change that we need to see in live events. And I can see how that jump was made. So you've started the journey into that already, but I'm keen to know what the key drivers were that led to the creation of the event then. But really, what's the story behind launching it? How did you get to the point where you went from what are manufacturers doing around sustainability to there's a community here and we need to launch something?
Mm-hmm. So it really started with talking to the industry. So, I'm don't have a manufacturing background. I'm not an engineer, but I'm fortunate that I get to be surrounded by people who are living this and breathing this and experts in their fields. And so really just talking with speakers, exhibitors, attendees at our events to find out what they're focused on, what's important to them in terms of sustainability, what's important to their customers in terms of sustainability. And it just kept kind of coming up more and more in advisory committee meetings that we were having, or conversations with speakers around topics that they wanted to focus on with our educational content. So doing that industry research and background, looking at some of the things that are coming up, not just in the United States, but globally, in terms of compliance and climate reporting and things like that, that are pushing manufacturers to have to, whether they really want to or not, have to be more responsible with the way that they are manufacturing products and running their facilities. So doing that research, surrounding myself with the experts, I've said many times, I think in talking with the advisory committee or other people that I was doing research with, that this is an event that really needs to be run by the industry. It needs to be staying super relevant, because I think that this particular segment of manufacturing is going to be evolving pretty quickly as time moves on. So just, again, staying really close to the people who know this space much better than me.
Yeah. And like you say, having that openness to it evolving, because, I'm talking to sustainability leaders and they're saying, if I were to go back 2 years ago, I'd do it differently. And so it is that openness to it is going to evolve, the landscape's going to evolve, regulation's going to evolve, and I think having that openness as an event to it, to changing with the industry.
And I would just say too that the US market has not necessarily been as forward thinking on sustainability as other parts of the world. And so there is a real opportunity now for an event that doesn't just bring the content piece of it, because there's certainly sustainability conferences happening all over the US, but it brings the solutions, the technology alongside the education, and gives industrial manufacturers, this opportunity to see the solutions, learn about them, learn from the technical experts, and also get that thought leadership and that knowledge and those best practices that they're going to need to achieve their sustainability targets.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that regardless of any one country's focus on sustainability, any company that wants to contribute to the supply chain, for example, in Europe, being involved meaningfully with sustainability and really understanding how the landscape is changing and how you ready yourselves as a smaller manufacturer for the future, I think is important. They're certainly the conversations I'm having with American companies who are very aware that this is a global market and it's a global challenge, and we've all got our part to play. So what are the exhibitors looking for then from this show, and what will visitors find when they attend in February?
Exhibitors are looking for connections. They are looking to interact, I think, with those decision makers within the industrial manufacturing world community, who are specifically focused on the solutions that they need to get their sustainability strategies moving forward. So that's one piece. I think they certainly want to fill sales pipelines. Of course, we all want to do that. So that would be another opportunity for them. But then the broader thought leadership opportunity and really establishing their company as a leader in the sustainability space. I think it's, as I said before, kind of a rapidly evolving sector of manufacturing. And I think we're going to see it continue to change over 5-10 years as we move forward. And so I think this is a real opportunity for the companies who want to position themselves as those knowledge experts, as sort of that base of expertise for the manufacturing community. On the attendee side, they are going to, again, be able to, I think, check a lot of boxes off their list for, being out of the office, taking that time away. You can see the solution providers, you can learn about the technology, you can comparison shop multiple vendors, you can get that expertise. We'll have sessions that are, keynotes where it's a large group of people, but also smaller roundtable sessions where you can get more one-on-one or individual type of information and answers to questions and challenges that you might be having on site. The other cool thing about SM Expo is that we are co-locating it with MD&M West, which is our largest advanced manufacturing event on the West Coast, and we're celebrating our 40th year this February. So it's been around for a long time. It regularly draws in about 15,000 executives and engineers. So we've already, got a nice built-in base of attendance there that can come over to SM Expo. So there's, a real opportunity to not just get the dedicated sustainability professionals that will be pulling in specifically with our marketing campaigns for SM Expo, but also the broader advanced manufacturing audience that can go to MD&M West, source the products and components that they need to build something, and then they can come to SM Expo and learn how to do that in the most sustainable and efficient way.
Having those two events side by side, like you say, they're a perfect fit, but also speaking of that broader audience and that broader community, particularly around the solution providers, usually in trade shows where they're representative of a vertical within industry. And I think sustainability is an area or a space where actually it's a shared challenge. And so it must be fun and I imagine different to bring together a show that actually brings lots of different industrial communities together.
Yeah, definitely. And that's basically how we run most of our advanced manufacturing shows. So we are focused on bringing together industries that are focused on sustainable solutions. So that is sectors like automotive and aerospace and defense and food and beverage, medical device manufacturing and life sciences. So yeah, as you mentioned, kind of a broad array of people, but everyone is kind of in the same boat right now. Everyone is trying to really understand what is the best solution for their particular business, what is going to improve their operations, improve their productivity, keep them profitable or increase profitability, as we all want. So there's lots of questions out there, regardless of what industry it's they're in, and like you say, this is a really nice way for people to come together as a community and get the answers that they need.
Yeah. And that piece about, commercial sustainability, we always speak to the fact that, manufacturing sustainability is as much about commercial sustainability as it is about environmental sustainability, because businesses have to be profitable. And so there's another opportunity, isn't there, to those those businesses who maybe are being pushed more than pulled or going of their own accord, I think that commercial sustainability piece can help to speak to something that's always been there in decision making, which comes down, to the dollar price at the end of the day. Melissa, this conversation, as we both know, is kickstarting a mini series with SM Expo, where we're going to be interviewing exhibitors, speakers and partners around that will be at the event, around their solutions, their ideas, and all of this content, our podcast and platform, your expo and conference, it's all being driven from manufacturing sustainability. What are your ambitions for the future of the event? I'm keen to see, you mentioned before, 5-10 years from now. What are those ambitions? What does that look like?
Of course, I want the show to continue to grow, and I want it to I think it'll probably end up evolving into different areas that, as manufacturers become more sophisticated with their sustainability plans, as technology changes. I mean, we've seen in our lifetime how many changes in manufacturing with AI and now digital transformation. And I mean, there's so many Industry 4.0 and now it's Industry 5.0. And
yeah.
So there's so many things that are that I think are coming in the future. But in order for this show to continue to grow the way that I want it to, and really be a conduit of education and resource for the community, it's so important that we have that input from the industry. So I mentioned we have an advisory committee that helps steer the strategic direction around the event. They help us to identify what are the important topics within the industry that we want to cover. We've got wonderful association partners like ASME and AMGTA and SESME, and a host of other ones that, again, are helping us to identify what are those hot button topics that they know their members are looking for information on. Having all of that resource and information and connections is, I think, going to keep us relevant and growing. And again, just a very important piece in a manufacturer's solutions around sustainability.
So, Melissa, how can companies and visitors get involved in the event, and where can they go after this episode to learn more about SM Expo?
They can visit our website, which is sustainablemanufacturingexpo.com. They can find us on LinkedIn. We've got a great LinkedIn group and community that we're building there. Registration opens on September 24th. So anyone who's interested in attending the show, the Expo Pass is free until, I think, January 5th. So, you can get registered and find all the information that you need to plan your travel, book your hotel, content information. We are also doing a series of pre-event webinars, and those, as a resource, those are on our website too. So there's a lot of information available on the website for people who want to get involved, either as an exhibitor or an attendee.
If we don't bring people together, if we don't share ideas, and if we don't find out about innovation and technology, then I always say we can go further together. So we're really looking forward to coming out in the new year to support you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out today to come and have this conversation. This has been 20 Minute Talks.
Thanks, Gemma, for having me. It's been a great opportunity.